I texted you yesterday and said, you got some momentum going. Keep your fucking head on and stay out of the fucking news, Jake. Why can't you stay out of the fucking news, bro? Now you're back in the news for good shit.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself fucking staying on momentous track here?
I see myself staying on a momentous track, but I find myself in situations where I don't
party in
think
Calabasas.
It's not a party. It was a music video. It was the music video shoot, and there was 80
You had a backhoe. Why did you have a backhoe?
So look, the backhoe was in the music video was holding the stage.
Sick as fuck,
right?
by the way.
So then we get done, and everyone's turning up, right? And I'm inside, like, directing the next scene. Like, all right, we got to go get the cameras. Boom, boom, boom. Changing outfits. Da da da. And I come outside and I see like the most, like, all these TikTokers, all these like girls hanging from the crane and like just having the time of their lives. Like, this is like, it's a roller coaster. I'm like, yo, stop. Like, this is, it's on camera. I'm like, this is a liability. This should not be happening right now. Someone's going to get fucked up. And I shut it down.
Did you say that because it was on camera?
No, because I'm getting to a point in my life where I'm mature enough, or getting to the place where I'm mature enough,
growing up, Jakey,
to like realize like this is not good. In
Yeah,
certain situations.
Yeah, nice.
And I think it's everyone just wanting to stay safe and not spread coronavirus. And
It's Corona time.
and you know, there's there's another influencer party that the same thing's happening to them right now. They're all over the internet because they had a party like
Even
2 days
Charlie
after
was
mine.
at that one.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a big
There's
deal.
one last night. There's parties every fucking weekend here in LA.
This one blew up in the news though. I said too, I don't want to pressure you to not do the things you're doing because you're so young. And I said, technically you can do exactly what you're doing for as long as you want, but it will just limit how far you're able to grow on the other end of things. So your start time on your takeover is going to limit the amount of takeover you can do because you're going to get too old to take over at some point.
Not if
you keep a really strong diet and work out a lot.
I think I hate just playing devil's avocados. If he goes down this rock star, I don't give a fuck route.
That's the problem.
There's a lot of power we talk about all the time, and authenticity.
I mean, I did. I got a best-selling book out of it. I said that too. Like, if you get a bestseller out of it, that becomes a movie, then do it. But I think
if he's a hype machine,
yeah, facts.
and people want to watch him fight because they want to see him lose, and some people want to see him win, and he keeps on winning. there's a model there.
Yeah, facts.
But and also it's like at what point do we go back to regular life and not be, you know, stopping everything we're doing in our day-to-day lives because of coronavirus? At some point there has to be like okay, let's go back to normal. Otherwise we're all just going to be in this pandemic quarantine forever, and all of these small businesses, everything's going to go to shit. The economy is going to crash. Like, at what point is it just like, hey, I as a young kid am probably going to get this virus at some point and
Survive it.
Survive
You
it.
gotta best it.
Well, now you're talking about scientific questions, and the answer to that question is when we start to see a downtrend. And unfortunately, right now in this country, we're about as bad as it gets. It's never in the course of the pandemic been as bad as it is today. Today, we will set a new death record in California, just like we did yesterday and just like we did the day before that. And so the answer to that question is, once we start to see a downtrend of death and a return of healthiness, we can start to make those kind of decisions. Until then, unfortunately, we're bound by death rate and bound by the upward trajectory of this pandemic.
Just going out in public, though, what would you think the split is of people who are taking this very seriously, or at least considering the implications of coronavirus, versus the amount of people who think it's total bullshit, a hoax, and are not here for the mask wearing? Give me a breakdown.
Well, I mean,
because we've been traveling a bit.
Yeah.
The amount of people who write this thing off is unbelievable.
No,
There are so many Americans who do not give a fuck about coronavirus.
But I think to base the right opinion or the impactful opinion of what is the right next step on the people who decide to ignore it is probably not the right step, right? Like the people who have said like, this is a hoax, I'm not wearing a mask. Like, those are probably the same people that say STDs are a hoax. I'm not wearing a condom. I'm not doing, like, the same people. I'm not wearing a seatbelt. I'm not, you, like, those are those people that live life like that. You don't base the optimal path forward upon the outliers. You base it upon scientific opinion and upon data.
I'm with you. I'm asking a question because I think the number is higher. They're not going to speak up, right? The people who are criticizing Jake on social media are the keyboard warriors. They want something to say. They want to raise their arms and get solidarity with their group and their clique.
I think
but there are a lot of people who have that same exact mindset where it's like, hey, they look around. How long are we gonna do this?
I think it's pretty light at this point. Like even Trump he was one of the last people to do it, has come out with a mask and said, yo, you have to wear a mask. And he was the person that was saying, don't wear, no mask, don't wear one. Like, now when he comes out and says, imagine this, for the entire duration of the pandemic, Trump threw his mask out and said, yo, masks don't do anything. This pandemic's fake. It's going to go away with the warm weather. He said every little thing to play it down. Now he's got the mask on and he's almost going as far as saying, yo, I think I was a little bit wrong about it. When he backtracks and says I was wrong about it and starts wearing a mask to campaign rallies, and by the way, cancels the GOP fucking rally that happens prior to the election, canceled because of coronavirus. When Trump cancels his own thing, it has to make all of those other people who are, out there not wearing masks and saying like,
lead by example.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, I think now that we've reached this point where pretty much everybody has pumped the brakes, said, yo, obviously we have to take this thing seriously. It's probably time. And it was time a long time ago.
Yeah, for sure.
But something that bothers me though is 95% of the masks that people are wearing are just cloth. And I was doing like research on it on Google with like certified doctors, and they say like it gives you a 15% like increase.
Better than nothing. It's better than nothing. I think that's the logic there.
And I get that.
I hate the hypocrisy that exists. Like, I'll say it. I've said it 1,000 times. If you're going to call someone out, if you're going to cancel someone, if you're going to make a tweet denouncing someone, you better make goddamn sure you are a perfect human being. PERFECT. Perfect human being.
At least in that genre. Too, like at the very least in that genre. So if you're gonna talk shit about people going to parties, don't throw a fucking party under any circumstance.
Yeah. And
you cannot go to a sports arena right now to watch let's talk about baseball first, an outdoor sporting event or a football game. But you can go sit in a metal tube and fly from LA to New York.
That's what I'm saying.
No problem. Sitting in recycled air with like, why can you not go to an outdoor event? So I'm with you.
Where your cloth mask is only preventing 15% of the bacteria that's coming through.
I'm telling you, I gotta respect. Where you're saying, Jared.
I get it, and I think a lot of it boils down to the disastrously confusing response and data and outlook that we have been given for this virus. The next best steps have been so fucking smoke and mirrors.
Yep.
It started off as if you go outside today, you'll die immediately. If you even walk out your door, we were all hunkered down. We had food. We were like, yo, if we raise little calves into cows, now we could eat because we're never going to leave the house.
So we made a doomsday run.
Right?
Same.
Then
what the I thought everything was over with.
Then within 3 months, America was reopening. All the stores were reopening. Masks aren't needed. Now Trump's got the mask on and people are dying. It's like, there has been at least in my eyes, there's been such a horribly confusing response to the pandemic that doesn't give me any reason to throw a party. So I have to agree with you on that completely.
I think one thing that's interesting about these two Paul brothers is your curiosity and how you have to touch the stove in order to figure out if it's hot. The curiosity is incredible. That's what has made you both such, incredible people with massive personalities that are so interesting to watch, but it is the curiosity that killed the cat. So the, search for what you're trying to do with your artistry is going to lead you into some weird roads with your wanting to throw a party for a music video. They kind of go hand in hand, that you had to throw a party in order to get the scene that you wanted.
Yeah.
But not compromising for that is difficult because of the curiosity of what life looks like for creating the art that you want to create. If you made the song with one other person in the room, directed the music video, organized everything, we're performing and directing at the same time, I think that's incredibly notable and worth
Bro,
all
it's one vertical of artistry. What is art? I mean, he's one of the biggest YouTubers in the world.
Yeah.
Is storytelling in 5-second or 5-minute videos in art?
Absolutely.
I think so. I think is creating a business, a multi-million-dollar business in art. Sure, there's probably an art to that. Like,
But to Mac's point, like about touching the stove.
yeah.
How old do you touch the stove until you get to? You know what I'm
he's
saying?
just
Like
talking
I'm
about
like,
he's
when
growing
you're-
up.
no, I get it, but I'm saying like, and bro, I touched the stove till I was 26.
Yeah.
Every day,
Yeah.
I touched a
I
stove
think
made
there's
of heroin and
different, there's
crack
different
cocaine.
stoves though.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Here's
And they
what
come in different shapes and
they
sizes.
do,
Oh,
they
no.
do. But what I'll say is this: I think that when you're a celebrity, there's a lot of stoves, and so in a lot of ways, in this current day and age, if your hope is to become a brand friendly and sponsored celebrity, which you might not want to be, who wants to be in the mainstream and get big 7-figure deals like a El Honcho over here, you have to keep your hands away from the stove. There's a potential stove right there. I'm not touching
Jake
it.
Paul is in the stove warehouse.
Yeah, he's surrounded.
In the
But
stove
I told
warehouse.
him. But I told him the same thing I fucking told you. If he goes 1 year without touching the stoves, 90% of the stoves leave the warehouse. And you got a lot less stoves to touch.
Yeah,
Once that
it does get
target
easier.
leaves your
It does.
back, Dawson takes it, Jeffree Star other people take it. So if you could just get a little bit of fucking time, like he did, between touching the stove, you could probably touch the stove and nobody will be like, yo, why did he do that? Like you could go back to it.
Or you realize, hey, the stove's hot, shit burns, which is where I'm at. Like I can happily say I got a pretty good read on whether or not that's a stove. I think it is. Looks like it's on. I'm not gonna touch it this time. And I'm 25. It stopped about what eight months ago.
But again,
12
we're
months
also
ago?
sitting here acting like I'm getting in a controversy every week.
You
before,
kinda are.
but well, how? Before looting, party. Nate, what was it before that? I was clean for a year.
Jake, you talked about being a mega
I thought
There's
independent.
I thought
got to
there
be
was one.
one
There was
more
one.
thing.
Name it. Go for it.
You
Google it.
drown your friend John in the fucking pool. I saw that.
Jake, you talked about
name the controversy. I
got it,
get
bro.
in for looting.
What about when you tased that dead rat?
That was you.
Oh shit. Okay. Yep.
Sorry,
That was me.
Sorry, I
That's
typed
what
in.
I'm saying. I had like we're sitting here acting like I'm like the devil, but
Oh, you
that's
jumped
not-
on a news van.
That's in
I'm sorry.
2017.
All right, Jake, you talked about becoming a massive independent artist. Do you think that becoming that artist that you want to be and having controversies in your life is kind of the route to get there?
I think I'm just realizing like the more I am myself, the happier I am, and the more people fuck with me. So the more I can literally just be authentic and just not like just be whatever it is that I want to do or create or be a part of, then that's what I'm gonna do.
We have the answer.
You have it. What is it?
Wait, also,
Oh, anxiety.
The anxiety is created by you.
Gigi Hadid.
Oh, yeah, Gigi.
He's like, it's all
What
making
about-
sense.
What about financial freedom movement?
That's
Oh,
not,
God.
that's not a
Fucking
controversy
get it.
though. Teaching kids about
But it
like, how to
became-
make money.
It became a thing.
Because
Yeah,
of the-
because people are mad.
You're right, because
But-
of the stoves. It's exactly what we're saying. It's stove theory. So if you go long enough, bro,
Yeah.
if you go long enough, the Gigi Hadid story is going to make the news. If you go long enough, the anxieties created by you story might not make the news. Eventually, people stop saying that kid's a bad kid because you've been doing good shit. Like he put out 120 solid ass podcasts. People are like, maybe that dude in Tokyo, like maybe that was the old him. Maybe he ain't like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to, what do you always say? You're only as good as your last big thing.
Your last
right?
big
You know what I'm
thing,
saying?
yeah.
If your
No matter-
last
no
big
matter
thing is burning the shit out of your fucking hand on a stove of pandemic party anxiety tweeting financial freedom, then you know what I'm saying?
That's why this fight's gonna be awesome.
Huge,
Fight's gonna be
huge.
awesome.
Win the fight, put out more good music, schedule another fight, and be those three things, and nobody will fucking ever remember the Disney Channel flow.